What's up, guys, and welcome back to another 410 Gaming Destiny 2 video. Today we are going to be talking about Grandmaster Nightfalls, something that everyone is going to be doing here in the next few weeks, and if you haven't been doing them, I have the cure for you, okay? I'm about to give you 10 tips and tricks to get these done easily. You and your fire team work hard together and follow these tricks. It should be a cinch. You should have no problem getting these done. I would recommend practicing with a team on some 1080 Nightfalls, the fire team that you are going to be running these Grandmasters with, just to kind of get an idea of where ads and champions are going to spawn. This is going to help you out a lot. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right in. If this video helps you out, please make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell, turn notifications on. That helps us out tremendously here at 410 Gaming. So thank you so much again for watching, and let's jump right in. All right, so let's get right into tip number one. The first thing we're going to want to check when we go into a Nightfall is the elemental damage. This is damage that you will be taking in. You do not do this back. So you can see here for root algorithm, it is void and aerial damage increase. So you will receive more void damage. So a big tip is checking your mods and making sure you have the correct mods equipped for each encounter. You can see here I have void gloves, the righteous gloves. And I have equipped void resistance mods on this. This is going to reduce incoming void damage from all combatants. So you can see in this strike, incoming void damage is increased. So you can go ahead and throw one of these void resistance mods on, which will reduce incoming void damage. These mods do stack. So if you have multiple void armor pieces, you can slap on a bunch of these void resistance mods. If you only have one piece of void armor, you can go ahead and put on concussive dampener mods. These reduce incoming area of effect damage from combatants. Concussive dampener is a great alternative to elemental mods, and these can stack as well. Another great thing to check here too is make sure that you have major, boss, and minor resist mods on. This is going to help you resist damage from those type of enemies. Those are red bars, yellow bars, and bosses. Special Finisher is also a great mod to equip here. These are going to be extremely useful because when you're going from encounter to encounter, you're going to be able to finish an enemy, which is going to generate some special ammo for you. Recuperation is great here because it's going to replenish your health each time you pick up an orb of light. I assume that you and your teammates do have masterwork weapons for this and also supers, so that's going to be helpful as well. Better Already is also another great mod. If you do have a void class item on, your health will begin to regenerate immediately after picking up an orb of light. Oppressive Darkness is also another mod that is great this season. Causing damage with a void grenade adds a weaken effect to combatants. This is great if you don't have a tether in your group or a divinity. You can throw this on the enemy and really just go ahead and put some insane damage into your enemies, especially champions. Also, Charge with Light mods are great for Grandmaster Nightfalls. They are not needed, but they do help a lot, especially mods like Protective Light. What this does is while Charged with Light, you gain significant damage resistance against combatants when your shields are destroyed. This effect consumes all stacks of Charged with Light. The more stacks consumed, the longer the damage resist lasts. I do have a great video on this build on the 410 Gaming YouTube channel. You should really check that out. It does go into great detail on how this system works, and this will help you tremendously. You can stack that with such mods as Striking Light, Charged Up, and Taking Charge. All right, now that we're modded up and ready to go, let's jump right into tip number two. Tip number two is going to be checking champions and other modifiers to see which guns you and your fire team will need to equip. In these Grandmaster Nightfalls, you will have Barrier, Overload, and Unstoppable champions. Most of the time, you get 2 of the 3. Occasionally, you will get all 3, but that happens very rarely. So it's easy for your team to coordinate. It's very important you and your teammates have the correct guns equipped for this and make sure that everyone has some sort of shield breaking mod on. The last thing you would want to do is go into a Grandmaster Nightfall and realize that someone didn't have Barrier or Overload on, and you go up against a champion and you're pretty much toast. Typically in my fire team, if there's Overload champions, I will run Divinity, and I can pretty much handle all the overloads. Normally I would recommend that someone puts an Overload grenade on just in case I'm running low on ammo, but since I do have Special Finisher on, like I said earlier, that will not be an issue at all. Anti-barrier will be on auto rifles this season, so it's pretty easy. If there's overload and barrier champions, I'll go ahead and rock Divinity, and a auto rifle forward path is very great for this, or breakneck you can also rock in the primary slot. That way all the bases are covered. Typically my team runs 1 Divinity and 2 Izanagis for DPS, so if you are rocking the Izanagi in the primary spot, you can throw on a Summoner or Gnawing Hunger. These are the 2 guns that I would recommend. These guns can both roll with Rampage, Kill Clip, multi-kill clip, all those other great perks, and are great elemental guns to run with anti-barrier. Unstoppable is on Pulse Rifle this season, so Cold Denial is a great gun to run on that. If you do have a Bygones or any other primary Pulse Rifle, I recommend running that. So like I said before, you won't see too many Nightfalls where all 3 champions come into play. If you do have all 3, I would recommend rocking a Pulse Rifle and a Divinity while your other teammates roll with Izanagis and Anti-Barrier. But as long as everybody coordinates correctly and you have all of the shields covered, your team will be fine. I do not recommend running Unstoppable as a primary and Barrier as an elemental. This is going to really limit you because you're not going to have any special weapons, and dealing damage is going to become an issue. I know a lot of people like to run Ariana's Vow, but I really think the Divinity and 2 Izanagi's Burden combination is really nasty, and you can really slay out on this and make sure all those champions go down as quickly as possible. Tip number 3. Callouts and killing champions. Timing your concentrated fire here can drastically improve your success in the Grandmaster Nightfalls. Running with a team that has practiced the Master Nightfalls together is going to really benefit you greatly. It's extremely important that you and your teammate have perfect timing and some callouts ready when killing champions. Just going in and firing away on a champion and saying kill him, kill him, kill him, or just hurry up, it's just going to end up wasting most of your ammo, and you can really find that having no ammo later on in the Nightfalls when you get to a boss fight can really be detrimental to your success. You're going to want to kill these champions before they are able to regenerate their health or put up a shield. This can be the difference between saving or wasting tons of ammo. Having a champion rush you or regenerate health can be extremely frustrating. If an Unstoppable or Overload champion get too close to you and you can't kill them, they will cause a huge disruption for you and your fire team, and you could lose multiple lives or even worse, get kicked out to orbit. Extermination will be on in these Grandmaster Nightfalls, and if all 3 of you and your teammates die, it's game over. Having a few simple callouts or just knowing the timing of your teammates is going to be crucial here. What my teammates typically do is when we see champions, since I'm running Divinity, I will go ahead and call out which champion we're going to shoot first. So I'll say, let's go ahead and take down that left barrier or that left overload champion. My teammates will know at that point that they need to have their Izanagi's honed edge loaded. And then I'll say, all right, ready, go. And as soon as I say go, they know that I'm about to fire my Divinity. As soon as that Divinity hits, they both will fire their Izanagis, taking down champions immediately. This works very well in Master Nightfalls. In the Grandmaster Nightfalls, those champions are a little bit beefier. So as soon as the Divinity hits and the 2 Izanagis go off, it's great to switch to your barrier rounds or whatever your primary is if it's an Unstoppable, and just start shooting upon those champions immediately. All right, so let's keep it moving right into tip number 4, stay behind cover. In most of these encounters, you're going to want to stay behind cover. You're going to shoot from cover, and if you're going to die, you're going to die behind cover. Leaving yourself exposed can be a quick and easy way to die, and if you do die and you're out in the open, it's going to be extremely hard for your teammates to revive you. So make sure you go into it with a game plan, knowing which enemies you do want to kill, and just use objects on the map for cover to shield yourself from other enemies that could be shooting down on you. Your radar will be disabled during Grandmaster Nightfall, so you have to be aware of enemy spawns and making sure they don't get behind you and kill you or your allies. Keeping behind cover will also reduce incoming flinch from enemies and will ensure that you hit all of your shots. If you're using a sniper rifle or a Divinity, you're going to want to make sure that you're not taking enemy fire because that will flinch you and cause you to miss some of your shots. Tip number 5 is creating space. You are going to want to create space between you and your teammates, but not too much space. Standing in a bubble or a well, or if you have a warlock that has a rift, is great, but when supers aren't active, you have to create space from your team while remaining close enough to revive fallen allies. Stacking can cause all the enemies to focus on you and your group. Getting stuck with a grenade or getting hit with some type of area of effect damage while being close to your fire team members can wipe the entire team. I have seen it before, it has happened to me, and if you die, you will get kicked back to orbit. So make sure that you are close enough to your teammates to be able to revive them if they go down. Get in wells if someone pops a bubble or a well of radiance. You're going to want to be close enough that you can just pop out and get in those and then get back behind cover and start shooting. But you don't want to be so close that you draw enemy fire from a champion or something else. If you get charged by an overload or an unstoppable and everyone's grouped up together, it could be fatal. Alright, let's keep it moving right into tip number 6, watching for grenades and area effect. I kind of touched on this just a little bit in the last topic, but grenades are deadly in Grandmaster Nightfalls. They will seriously crush you and your entire team. Most red bar ads during these encounters will also drop an area of effect burn when they die. Being aware of where you are killing enemies and not rushing over to pick up ammo right away until these area effects are gone will be crucial. The last thing you want to do is die in between encounters because you were going to pick up ammo and then next thing you know, you've lost a life. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but grenades are deadly. So make sure that you have the increased damage resistance and area effect mods. And also, if you know that the enemies are throwing solar grenades or void grenades, make sure you have those elemental resistance mods on as well. Also, try to stick away from melee killing enemies. Like I said before, those red bars will drop those area of effect burns. So just wait until your health is back up before you rush in to finish or weaken an enemy. Tip number 7, take your time. You have 45 minutes before darkness sets in. Once darkness sets in, you do lose all of your remaining lives, and if you die, you cannot be revived. But 45 minutes is a very long time. A well-coordinated team should be able to burn through this in about 20, 25, 30 minutes tops. Your first couple run-throughs might take 40 minutes, but you have plenty of time. There's no reason to rush through and blow through this as fast as you can. You're not going up against the timer. It's not score-based. All you have to do is kill all the champions and finish the encounter. And a lot of the times you don't have to kill the champions. The only reason you would want to do this is to get a platinum score if you are going for materials. But you can finish these Nightfalls and get credit for them without killing all the champions. I don't recommend that, but you can do that if you choose to. Because you do have limited lives, killing champions is encouraged. That is the only way to gain extra lives. And another thing, you're in no rush in between major encounters. You're going to face small mobs. So just go ahead, take your time, build your supers back up. You're only going to lose a couple minutes in between fights by waiting for your super, and it's better to go into an encounter with that super so you don't die. So please take your time, work your way through it, come up with a game plan, and execute it. Moving on to tip number 8, make sure you're using subclass and exotics that support your team. This is not a solo activity. It is the hardest PvE activity in the game. So make sure that you're using supers like wells, bubbles, tethers, anything that's going to create orbs for you and your teammates and increase survivability. Roaming supers have no use in these activities. You can't kill champions with them, and most of the time you're going to get shot and killed out of your super before you're able to take out any ads at all. So no stompies, no radiant flux, nothing that's going to slow you down, everything that's going to support your team. Try using Saint 14's helmet, Phoenix Protocol, Orpheus rigs, all exotics and supers that are going to benefit you and your teammates. I don't want to see any other supers out there. I don't want to see Blade Barrage. I don't want to see Storm Trance or Thunder Crash, none of that shit. Let's just stick to the bubbles, the wells, and the tethers. Tip number 9, and this might be one of the most important tips, is using special finishers. I know I talked about that earlier when I was speaking about mods, but I didn't go into great detail. This is going to be huge, okay? What you can do with special finishers is create special ammo for yourself and your team. This is extremely crucial. This does consume 1/3 of your super, however, so coordinating with your teammates whose turn it is to finish and create ammo will also help you keep supers charged. So in theory, if everyone's running special ammo finisher, you don't have to have one person on your team use this continuously and lose their super. You can just kind of figure it out. Okay, it's my turn to use it. I have a full super. It'll take down a third. By the time you get to the next encounter, you should have your super back up and you'll be ready to rip. This also allows you to use your special weapon as much as you like. My fire team and we use 2 Izanagi's and 1 Divinity, And being able to use Izanagi as a single shot instead of the honed edge to clear out minor enemies before you decide to go in and kill champions, or just use it for general ad clearing from distance, is pretty crucial. Also, I can pretty much use Divinity to break arc shields or on regular yellow bars that aren't champions, and I really don't have to worry about it because I know that I'm going to have that ammo back just by getting one finish. You can get 1 to 2 bricks, and sometimes even heavy will drop. I know that's just random, but it does seem to happen more times than not, so make sure you have this on. Everybody in your fire team needs to be running these, like I said before. That way you can alternate special finishers, and you're really just helping you and your teammates out, and you're just making these Nightfalls so much easier. Being able to kill enemies from deep without worrying about, am I going to have enough ammo for my honed edge? Super crucial. So let's see those special ammo finishers. And last but not least, tip number 10, super usage. In these Grandmaster Nightfalls, there is no such thing as a panic super. You want to use them as often as possible. I see a lot of people holding on to their supers until they get to the boss. Like, you don't need to do that, okay? Survivability is everything. You can't risk going back to orbit on a team wipe because you wanted to keep your super for something more important, or you hesitated to pop it. Have a game plan. Go in there. Communicate with your team. All right, guys, and going into this next encounter, I'm going to drop my well. I'm going to drop my bubble. I'm going to tether right off the rip. Whatever you need to do, and chain those supers. Create orbs for you and your homies. Like, if you're using a charge with light build, you're going to create orbs. Like, go ahead and just pop those supers. There's no reason to die. You never want to go back to orbit with a super, okay? So use them, use them, use them. My fire team and I like to use 2 Phoenix Protocol wells and 1 tether, or even recently we've been running 3 Phoenix Protocol wells. You can just chain them one after another after another. You're never running out. There's never a time where you don't have a super active. So as long as you're using those to your benefit, you know, making sure that when you do drop a Phoenix Protocol well with the Warlock, everyone's standing in that well to get their kills, you can almost get your super back completely. Same with the tether. If you're using Orpheus rigs, you can at least get 50% back. You hop in a well, you pick up a few orbs, you're ready to go. The bubble as well. Those drops 3 orbs each. There's no reason why you shouldn't be using these. Also, one pro tip, like I said earlier, make sure everyone has a super before you move on to the next encounter. You have plenty of time to finish these Nightfalls. There is no rush. You could stand around for 10 minutes if you have to. I don't care what you do, but build those supers up before you go into the harder encounters. So there it is, guys. There's the top 10 tricks for Grandmaster Nightfalls. I use all of these tricks with my fire team every single time we go in there. We're coordinated, we're communicating, we're using our supers, we're not getting shot by champions, we're hiding behind cover. All of these tips, all of these tricks, making sure your mods are on correctly. I know this is going to help you out, so make sure you please like, follow, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.